Sometimes peace needs to be broken. And chaos must reign.
I know that like people online are nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a reboot?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a reboot?
It's not a reboot. It's a revival. But, you know, you can watch it. If you've never watched anything from Daredevil before, or you've never watched anything from Marvel before, you could start from the first episode of Daredevil Born Again and meet the story on its own terms and have a fulfilling experience. I think it's very clear. If you have invested in these characters in the previous series, things might hit in an emotional way, but the story will be fulfilling regardless.
Okay, it's better when you say it, because when I tell them, they don't believe me. Because I'm like, no, I promise you're going to be happy. And because Daredevil Born Again is like, it's pulling from a lot of different runs.
Yep.
It's not just straight Born Again.
Right.
Because they kind of covered some of that already.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite thing and run that Daredevil Born Again is referencing? Like, what can fans kind of look forward to?
So I do think there are parallels to Frank Miller's run in that we are breaking that down to his bare essence in many ways. It's a different way of breaking him down, but certainly we are rocking him to his absolute core.
Yeah.
And in doing that, forcing him to define himself like he did in the Born Again comic.
And I'm excited to see, like, even if Frank Miller's kind of very distinct way of showing fights and fight choreography is going to be mirrored in the show. I want to say that I saw it because, like, the attention to detail when, you know, Daredevil's like getting hit, all of those panels.
Yep.
Do we see that in this season? Like that attention to detail?
Yes. There's a lot of page to screen references if you're watching for them, but really overall, the approach to the drama of New York City that especially Frank did, but many people have done in the history of Daredevil is very much on screen. If you watch the way the directors are wielding light, not just in the action scenes, but throughout, it's extremely intentional and owes a lot to the page.
I love that you just said wielding light. That's awesome. It's so powerful. It was a great word to use. I'm like, yeah, that light is wielded.
Yeah, it is. It's the storytelling tool. And where, you know, especially Justin and Aaron, our pilot directors, where they kind of move your eye and when they make things more extreme and when they loosen up, it's all extremely intentional.
Yeah, and so that makes it really fun to watch. It made me so much more interested in things that I don't know about yet. It made Daredevil feel even more nuanced, which I didn't actually think was possible. It's pretty amazing. How in the world does everyone at Marvel keep all these timelines straight?
So we have a continuity manager named Drew Reiber, who he's our expert. He keeps us honest.
Awesome.
He knows the continuity better than anybody. And also I think, you know, because there's always debate about what's canon, what's not canon. You know, the Defenders universe has just recently become official canon. Where does it leave Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Like, it's always within the fan community, like a debate. And sometimes, like, those are fun conversations to have. But he understands the fans. So you know, he's just an amazing resource. Any chance you have to talk to him, I would. It really is kind of the secret sauce to keeping us honest.
That actually makes me wish that we would be able to talk to him because it's so fascinating. It's such a gigantic operation at this point. It's a super important position.
Yeah, it is.
How much is he getting paid? Give him a raise. Give him a raise.
I will.
Speaking of Defenders, though, I loved seeing Harlem's Paradise in Times Square advertised and was like, what does this mean for the Defenders? Like, are we going to get to go back to Harlem's Paradise? Are we going to see Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist?
So, you know, we're not going to do anything just to do it. Nothing is done arbitrarily. I think the key to the story is to follow the characters and let them lead the path for us. That being said, they we live and breathe in the same universe as those characters, so collisions are probably inevitable.
Collisions are probably inevitable. That's like, I'm like, oh yeah, huh? And just at a nuts and bolts level, we've got Wilson Fisk coming into the mayor's office. There are a lot of like really boring procedural things to being a mayor. What do you think Wilson Fisk is worst at out of normal mayoral duties?
So I don't want to spoil anything because you haven't seen the rest of the season yet,
Yeah.
but there's an episode coming up that is about that very thing.
Are you
and
serious?
It's one of my favorite episodes in the show.
That's great. Because I'm like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
Wilson Fisk on a Zoom meeting? Like,
Yeah. Yep.